on a city bus, if there were seats available in the front of the bus and none available in the back of the bus, I still could not sit down. That was separate, but it wasn't equal.
I came in as a day porter, then I was allowed to sell shoes, but I could not sell shoes to white ladies. I could not touch a white lady's foot.
You look down there in the water pipe, and one pipe that came up. Then when they got up there, then they divided this way, and one went white and one went black.
Your parents can tell you you're equal to everybody else, but at the same time, the society and everything around you is telling you something different.
She asked me, who was I and what was I? And then I said, I'm an American. And she said, no, you're not, you're colored.
We, the disinherited of this land, we who have been oppressed so long, are tired of going through the long night of captivity. And now we are reaching out for the daybreak of freedom and justice and equality.
On May 17, 1954, the Supreme Court ruled in Brown versus Board of Ed that the practice of separate but equal had no place in public education. The decision was a turning point in the battle to end segregation. But Jim Crow would not go quickly or quietly. Those who had benefited from America's constitutional contradiction fought to maintain their privilege and power. Making equality a reality would require a movement that would render unto no one evil for evil, but instead would meet the forces of hate with the power of love. There are no exact numbers as to how many people participated in the civil rights movement. Many stood up, stepped up, and spoke up, but there's one name that stands out. This story starts in Montgomery.
Montgomery was the location of the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. It was a very important church in Montgomery, the capital city of Alabama, and it had a custom of bringing in well-educated, articulate, charismatic ministers.
Dexter Avenue Baptist Church at the time, one of the most elitist churches in Montgomery. You had the college professors and all of the teachers, doctors and dentists going to Dexter Church.
Now, I had heard of Dexter, of course, in the sense that Vernon Johns was the pastor here, and he was known as a fire and brimstone preacher.
Johns was he's charismatic and an intellectual of the first rate, but he also was controversial, outspoken, and confrontational.
He did not mind crunching a few toes in what he said, because he said on more than one occasion, you aren't doing enough, you need to do more.
There are a number of episodes between Vernon Johns and the congregation led to the final dismissal of Johns, or the acceptance of his resignation. And so there was a look or a search for a new minister. Robert Nesbitt, who was a deacon at the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church at the time, understood that there was a charismatic, young, articulate minister by the name of Martin Luther King, who lived in Atlanta. And so Nesbitt travels to Atlanta to entice King to come to Montgomery and to do a trial sermon to be considered for the pastorate at Dexter Avenue Church.
So he came in the shop. I asked him what was his name, like you do most new customers. He said, Martin Luther King. I said, where are you from? He said, Atlanta, Georgia. I said, what are you doing in town? He said, I'm here to preach my trial sermon at Dexter. I said, oh, that's my church.
He came and gave his trial sermon. And I'll never forget, it was entitled 3D in Religion. The way he developed that theme was so catching and so well done, of course, that we just said there's no use in pursuing this pastorate any further. He is the man.
When the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church looked for a new pastor, they were looking for someone who was going to be adroit, an academic, astute, a good oratorical skills, but they wanted someone who was not going to be as controversial, not going to be as confrontational, and they thought they had that person in Martin Luther King.